this is a quick video of my Ender 5 and the mods I've done. So I've got a plywood enclosure. As you can see, it's fully enclosed. Got a ventilation inlet fan there with a bit of filtering to stop any dust. And yeah, that's the printer there. So some of the mods I've done is I've added some couplers to the back. I've put a Microswiss NG on there, and I'm currently in the process of adding a Bigtreetech Eddy to it. Managed to find some Microswiss STL files for the Eddy, which was nice. Well, I think they are. Yeah, I've got the umbilical cord here. I've got some springs holding it up out of the way because at one point fell down and hit the switch, and yeah, the offset was wrong and slammed into the front, which was not good. Yeah, I've got a couple of ESP32 cams here so I can see what's happening, and we'll have a look. So I've put all the electronics on the side here, and my kind of plan was keep the electronics away from all the heat, and so keep them outside and keep the filament up the top there and dry it. So the filament is in its own little enclosure box, and then there's just a hole at the bottom. I've got a filament runout sensor there, got some bearings and desk leg to make sure that the filament doesn't fall over, because it's happened a couple of times. A couple of mods, other things I've done. So I've got some WS LEDs in there. Those are the multicolored ones, and they run independently off an ESP32. And yeah, so the enclosure's got the same thing. I've got a camera there so I can see how much filament I've got, and then a bit of silicon desiccants there. Got ventilation here, and then I've got, I don't know if you can see, fan, a ventilation hole there. Yeah, I think that's about everything for the inside. And yeah, don't know if I said before, but a nice bit of acrylic on the front. Probably could have done a better job, needed a bit thicker so it warps a bit. Some nice seal. Yeah, so the electronics here, go over quickly. So I got an ESP32, that's through Home Assistant, that controls lights, and I didn't mention there's a, probably can't see it, but there's a temp sensor at the back there, so you can see temperature and humidity. Same for the filament enclosure. Then I've got a dehumidifier I've modified and added a couple of pipes to. I don't think it's really working that well because it gets to 40 degrees and shuts off, but it does dry it out. But mostly the dryness is because it's heating up, so I might look at a better solution. Yeah, that's the ESP32 that does the temp sensing. So I got 12 volt in. I was running it off a 12 volt adapter, but I've since modified it up to a computer power supply. So this is a bit superfluous, but there's a buck converter there that drops the 12 to 5 and then powers all the lower voltage stuff. ESP32 there, and I've got some conduit just to keep everything nice, and I'm just running the stock, semi-stock 4.2.7 board. Did come with one of the non-32-bit boards, and I upgraded that. Might change again at some point. And the filament enclosure's got its own ESP as well. It's got a fan dial here just to try and keep the airflow going through. Might make that digital at some point because it's just on all the time, but that's what I had. It was easy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the other pipe goes to a ventilation that just goes outside. It'll eventually hook up. I haven't quite finished it yet. Above that is a toasty oven, so I can at some point make PCBs. That's the plan. Love to print some ABS, and that's what the ventilation's for. Yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions. Some of the mods I'm looking at doing, I've got a CAN bus board here, EBB 42, so I want to put that on, and that would just neaten up all the cables, make it a lot more easier to manage, and that would be quite nice. And then there's less drag. Some linear rails would be nice. Gonna probably do dual Z. I'm having a lot of issues with the board, the printing surface. It's really not even, and I'm hoping dual Z will just hold that up. I might get another build plate as well, because that one's really quite warped. Maybe like a nice thick one, and yeah, that's about it.